Hi, welcome to another episode of Project Geospatial here at the 2021 GEOINT Symposium in St. Louis, Missouri. I am here with NGA's Lidia Lopez. And Lidia, how about we start by asking you who you are, and we'll get into your experiences here at the GEOINT Symposium.
Okay, my name is Lidia Lopez. I work with the Office of Geography at the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. I've been there for about 10 years, and I have found my experience with NGA and within the GEOINT community to be a really rewarding experience. So
when did you first start going to the symposiums?
I started attending the GEOINT Symposium probably in 2011, 2012. I think that was the year they had the sequestration, and it was probably the very following year, and on and off I've been attending ever since then.
Awesome. So what was your impressions when you first went to a symposium about the industry as a whole?
Well, I really appreciated the very first time that I attended the symposium because there was a lot to learn that I didn't know. A lot of the different technologies that were out there, a lot of the different companies, a lot of the people that were out there that I didn't know about. So my impression, I mean, there was a lot to take in, and I think my first symposium, I was like, whoa, what? That's a lot of information, but I really appreciated it because as an analyst, you don't always get exposed to the big picture ideas that are shared within the symposium.
Did it inspire you about new directions you wanted to take in your career?
Yes, I mean, I think that going to school at Maryland, I knew maybe the unclassified side of the house, a lot of open source tools and techniques that were out there, but the symposium, they just opened up so many other opportunities, so many different sensors, different technologies, different applications for the tools that are out there, and it was very inspiring to see just the number of options that were out there.
Now, you started going to the symposium as a young professional, is that correct?
Yes.
And what was that like back then?
Oh, it was great. So my first experience with the symposium was actually attending on behalf of the NGA Professionals Network. And every year or so they sponsor an employee or two to go, and that's how I attended the first GEOINT Symposium. So I was super excited, and as an NGA professional, I was thinking, oh, this is must be really related to what we're doing. Otherwise, the government wouldn't sponsor someone to go. And since then, I've just kept attending because every year is just a little bit different. Every year there's many different speakers that present their information, or exhibitors on the exhibit hall, and I appreciate seeing who's out there.
What has been the biggest changes that have surprised you at the symposium in terms of technology or trends that you've observed over the years?
I really appreciate when, for example, in 2015, 2016, I think it started a little bit with Director Long, and it went into Director Cardillo. We were doing the push towards open and unclassified work at NGA, and so what I really appreciated about coming to the symposium was that there was a big emphasis on, these are things that are on the market right now. These are services that you can apply to the work that you're doing right now, and so I really appreciated that.
Where do you see technology going based off of, well, even this year? I have a lot of different opinions about that, but I think I've heard a lot about how working with our allies and working with our foreign partners is going to be really important in the future. Especially right now, the work that I do, it integrates a lot of collaboration with partners. So, we're very efficient, we're very good at certain things, but we also benefit from having the knowledge and the expertise and sharing that with our partners, especially with our allies and our friends. What advice would you give to young professionals who have never been to the symposium themselves, or we'll call it even military, young military professionals who are just leaving the government, who have never been exposed to the industry?
I would say definitely take a chance and attend the symposium. Sit through all of the sessions. You may not be
thinking that it's relevant to everything that you're doing at that time, that whatever it is that you're working on. But it's really good educational opportunity to see what the speakers are saying about the topics. Especially if you're right out of college and you're thinking, yes, I have a job, and now what am I going to do? And you come to the symposium and you're like, wait, how does that connect? So you may not see the connection right away, but it'll come around later. And then for the young military, I did not serve, but I would say similarly, sometimes with the colleagues that I've heard, they don't always see that direct connection when they're in the office or when they're serving. But it's, as they develop further, it's a really good opportunity to get to know and see what the different topics are out there. So I definitely encourage them to also take some time and, sit through some of the sessions you may not be very familiar with, meet some people who you've never met before, but really just learning something new that, walk away with something new that you didn't know before.
How do you capture the knowledge you've gained here and take it back to your workplace?
It depends. So when I went with the NPN, we actually did a little bit of a report and said this is my experience and sort of like a mini trip report. Other times that I've attended, if it was something that relevant to my office, I tried to share that with the people who I believed those technologies or services would be helpful to. And more recently, I try to just continuously talk about my experiences with my colleagues or with the young professionals group that I belong to through USGIF. So, just making sure that I continuously try to develop that knowledge set.
Absolutely. My last question for you is, this is the first year the symposium has been in St. Louis. What do you think about that?
I think it's amazing. I think it's awesome. Half of our workforce at NGA is out here, and it's such a good opportunity to get them out here and try seeing the different opportunities that are within the GEOINT community, whether it's in commercial or within other government organizations. Having the ability to see the future of GEOINT in St. Louis, I think, is so important. And I think that's what having the symposium here affords all the attendees is, can you see yourself in St. Louis in 5 years? Can you see yourself in 10 years working and living here? And it's really good to bring it home and bring it to something that is relatable,
Yeah.
So we talk a lot about like GEOINT being a lot of space and like sensors and all these things, but sometimes you just have to drive it home to people and say, well, this is why it's important to the community, this is why it's important to the tradecraft, and just continuously grow that.
Well, thank you very much for talking with us about your experiences at the symposium. You've been here, you've gone to it as many years, it sounds like, as I have, and a lot to learn from these things. And once again, hopefully anybody who's listening to us and never gone to a symposium, learned about the industry, learned about what government does, I'm sure you'll be as inspired as well, as both of us here. So once again, I'm Adam Simmons with Project Geospatial, and we'll talk to you next time.